54321. This is Misa Grand Duchess Rasmus Curtin from Liberty Studios on the 30th of July, 7:25 p.m. Somebody reminded me of somebody's birthday on the past on my Facebook page, so I just deleted it. We have had that conversation before that certain people don't play a role in the future. Peace be to them in their future and my future. But just don't bring them up to me, so I just deleted them. Whether or not you want to agree with me, fantastic. That's how it's going to be. And sometime for your future, your past make you who you are. But for your future, you must know what's around you. You must not invite things that could never change and will never ever change. Not that you don't appreciate it, but for you to stand your own ground and to be who you are and to become again and to become believed and self-actualize in something else, something new. You must adhere to change. I want to make a comment on two things today that affected me. It's very good that the Pope and whatever in Rome and we welcome gays and so forth. But I wrote something today. In accordance to that. I wanted to know something. We can love sinners. Are we sinners because we're gay and we're different? I don't know. I remember 10 Commandments, Pope Francis. 10 Commandments and two greatest commandments. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And love God above all things. If we're going to go into that Christian genre. If he had taken time to understand the premise of the commandments and the premise of what he was talking about, then he would have known that his statement illegitimately negated what he was trying to achieve. We're here in this society not to secularize it anymore, but to normalize it, to unite it, so that all the citizenry of the world and to each culture, to each country, become committed to their common cause and in their drive to modernize, to adapt, or to enhance their culture in some way. So time taken to grade these issues, should be done in kindness. It shouldn't be done in, okay, we can love sinners. It's almost discriminatory and sound like kind of a distorted thinking. You know what I mean? How can you begin to understand somebody or accept a culture and love people and then say that you are, we can love sinners? What is sin? How do we perceive sin? And if those are the testament of your commandments, then you have negated yourself, Pope Francis, in what you have said. Secondly, it seems so shameful in some ways that someone should say, we can love sinners. We do love sinners. We do. We are all sinners. But homosexuals and gays are not sinners because they are themselves. Let them commit a sin that is recorded in the Bible or wherever it is, for them to be classified as a sinner. Him himself have committed a grave sin against humanity. In a hateful way, he's saying, okay, we can tolerate them. But it's actually intolerance. In a way, the Pope is saying, in a hateful way, we love them in a hateful, scornful way. And maybe this is new for Catholics because they're so conservative and they're so whatever it is in what they're doing. Minus the illegitimate children that all those popes have done to John Paul II. Right? Part of the whole hidden secret of that Butler files, the Butler stole, is the children of Pope John Paul II and how they were taken care of and where they were born. So, I mean, we can tolerate sinners. Who is a sinner? Was John Paul II now a saint, a sinner? How do we categorize this? And what are we really fighting for now, Pope Francis? What are you really trying to do? You know what I mean? I understand the premise of your action, but you're going about it in a kind of distorted way. We hatefully love people. I have never seen anything like that before. I am unamused by it, in one essence, because they're intellects, they're world leaders, and they're people of philosophy and knowledge. So who are we to judge? And this is why we have to keep a good watch on our society, our civil liberties, and our civil rights. It's just like these Republicans and Democrats. Oh, now gays are now this and now that and now that. There is little Mr. Weiner running for mayor. I don't care who he sexed about his penis. If you want to vote for him, fine, be it. Let it be on his merits, not on his penis. His personal life is his. And if his secretary or whoever he texts his penis to should have a problem with it, then so be it. Let it be a matter for the public opinion or between those two people, not for us to judge. We want credible, truthful, worthy leaders, not the sham that we have been, not the shams that we have been dished out all these last years since we've been fighting Iraqi war, Iraq and the terrorist war that we have been doing all this time. It's so unusual. They themselves, as I said, one article in New York Times, they don't know what they're fighting for. And so it becomes the question, does the Pope really know what he's saying, or does he know what he's really fighting for? We know what his aim is, but how ridiculous it sounds to somebody that believes in love. And when I looked at an atheist this week who went about things, they had no problem with homosexual or gays. Isn't it ironic? An atheist is more accepting than the leader of the free world and the leader of the church, the oldest church in the world, the oldest Christian church in the world. Well, not really, but let's not debate about that right now, and so forth. And so, it's really different. We have to really look where we're coming from and where we want to go. And if we're really trying to unite, let's use the correct words, the correct people. And I always said in the world, in the United Nations, along with other countries, where we need fresh new eyes and fresh new leadership. People like us, not necessarily gay, but people with fresh, down-to-earth ideas, not purported, preposterous posturing. And it is surprising. It is absolutely surprising, the mentality of some members of the affluent society or the meritorious society, whether they're in the rap, hip-hop, or whatever world. I saw something last night with Russell Simmons, going back to things that we say. Russell Simmons said society acts like criminals or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was. And it acts like criminals because they're all it's a criminal society because they were all criminals and they locked up, and so now we're having to deal with all the criminals outside that were let out of jail or something like that. But how funny that Russell should say that when hip-hop and rap is the very source of that culture. And these people that were criminals, were they unjustly or justly convicted? A lot of black people were unjustly convicted and became the ground of hip-hop and rap music. So how then could Russell Simmons say the criminals in society, it's a criminalized society because we let these criminals out? They were unjustly treated and they were forced to survive, forced to find a way because of racism, sexism, whatever it is. A lot of African Americans went through that. Not to be racist, but a matter of fact of the history of our culture and where we are coming from in America. So then how do you judge the society like that? Rap, Russell, you FUBU, you made all that money because of that culture. But I will say to you, Russell, if they were unjustly locked up, they were criminalized and they had to survive, and they came out and they supported your culture. So they are survivors of a persecutory culture. And so I want to send out this message to the Pope also. Know what you are saying. Sinners, who are sinners? Are you a sinner? Are people sinners because they're gay? You know where you're coming from. Know what is it that you want to achieve. We're trying to normalize society, not secularize it, to produce peace and unity in the world. This is Misa Grand Duchess Rasmus Koenen. Have a good day.